distinguished speakers, excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. This is also my first time here, and it is an honor for me to participate in the 4th Indian Ocean Conference here in the Maldives, a country with which we enjoy very cordial and cooperative relations. I would like to express my deep appreciation to His Excellency Ibrahim Mohammed Soli, the President of the Maldives, His Excellency Dr. S. Jaishankar, Minister of External Affairs of India, and the India Foundation for inviting Bhutan to this conference. I am touched by the smiles of the friendly people of the Maldives and for the warm reception and generous hospitality extended to me and my delegation. I commend India Foundation for organizing this conference and bringing together participants from across the region to exchange ideas on a range of matters pertinent to the Indian Ocean. Many of you here in this room must be wondering why a landlocked nation nestled in the folds of the high Himalayas and thousands of miles away from the ocean is taking interest in this conference. I am here because our world is interdependent and interconnected. And what happens in the Indian Ocean also affects us in multiple ways. And similarly, whatever happens in the Himalayas has a huge impact on the Indian Ocean region. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the Maldives, much like other small island nations, faces an existential challenge. The human, cultural, and ecological cost of rising sea level is simply unimaginable, even by optimistic calculations of what we currently know. The world stands to lose more than just some low-lying islands. High in the Himalayas, Bhutan faces as much risk from climate change and global warming as do low-lying nations. The melting glaciers in the Himalayas pose immediate threats and long-term civilizational challenges. The dangers of glacial lake outburst floods from melting glaciers will bring ruins to entire river basins. Our human settlements and our national livelihoods would vanish. With glaciers melting at an unprecedented rate, the prospects of tsunamis from the sky are frighteningly real. Much like other complex global phenomena, the consequences of mountain tsunamis will not be localized. Hundreds of millions of people downstream will bear the catastrophic brunt. Rivers like the Brahmaputra that have sustained human life and occupied human imaginations since time immemorial, giving rise to unique cultures, may turn into something very different. Further downstream in the oceans of the world, the melting ice from the third pole will raise sea levels. The scale of the destructive forces that will be unleashed by such catastrophes are simply unimaginable. What the dying corals in the reefs of the Maldives, the browning of the pine trees in Bhutan's mountains, melting glaciers, or the rising sea level highlight more than anything is the extent to which we are all interconnected. For those of us who have observed for decades the dangers of global warming unfold, we have been convinced from early on that we can only address it collectively. The efforts to take on such challenges by individual communities and countries can bring about only so much impact. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Bhutan is proud to be a carbon-neutral country. Our natural forest cover stands at more than 70% of our total land area. Our constitution mandates a minimum of 60% of Bhutan's land to be under forest cover for all times to come. We have invested heavily in the generation of green run-off the river hydropower projects. Our conservation efforts at the expense of development have ensured that we remain one of the top 10 biodiversity hotspots in the world. But against a phenomenon like global warming, the impact of Bhutan's concerted efforts for the last many decades adds up to little. The same is true for the efforts made by small island states to control global warming. Individually, our efforts will not amount to much more than a few drops in the ocean of collective efforts required to face this challenge. Similarly, given the highly interconnected nature of our world, other challenges facing the Indian Ocean will affect even far-flung countries like Bhutan one way or the other. Many times, maritime security in the Indian Ocean is highly important to countries in the Indian Ocean and beyond, as one of the key lifelines for trade, growth, and prosperity of our region and beyond. The security of the Indian Ocean is important to the entire world. Even here, only collective efforts can bring about the desired impact. Collectively, if we are able to keep these waters safe and secure, the economic benefits of the blue economy will also benefit the landlocked countries like Bhutan, as maritime resources hold huge potential for the development of our region and can play a critical role for poverty alleviation and sustainable development. Not only that, the Indian Ocean also is one of the main sources of the monsoon rains so critical for the agriculture in the southern Himalayas. In conclusion, may I say that the Indian Ocean Conference provides a much-needed forum for open dialogue on common issues confronting the Indian Ocean. It is only by coming together that we will have any hope of addressing our common challenges. I am confident that the conference will continue to gain momentum in the coming years and deepen our understanding of the economic and strategic importance of the Indian Ocean. I look forward to participating in the conference this evening and tomorrow, and in taking back valuable lessons from this gathering of creative minds. I wish the conference great success. Thank you and Tashtil.